E3 of 2014. Many games were shown, but one game piqued my interest more than others: CupHead. Thinking I was the only one who was excited for it, I quickly learned that people all over the world were going nuts about the prospects of this game. Very few indie games have intrigued me over the years like CupHead, a game sold as being beautifully made and brutally hard. Hopefully living up to both of these aspects, here is my review of CupHead. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather around because it is time for the first edition of Storytime, brought to you by the soothing tones of Cayenne, aka Coucho on YouTube.
Once upon a time in a magical place called Inkwell Isle, there were two brothers named CupHead and Mugman. They lived without a care under the watchful eye of the wise Elder Kettle. One day the two boys wandered far from home, and despite the Elder Kettle's many warnings, ended up on the wrong side of the tracks, that pun, and entered the Devil's Casino. Inside, CupHead and Mugman soon found themselves on a winning streak at the I couldn't read the word. Hot dog. King Dice, casino's sleazy manager. These fellas can't lose. Nice rum, boys, laughed a newcomer. The brothers gasped. It was the casino's owner, the devil himself. Now how about we raise the stakes, he suggested with a toothy grin. Win one more roll and all that loot in my casino is yours, the devil boomed. But if you lose, I'll have your souls. Deal? CupHead, blinded by easy riches, and nodded, and what the hell did I just read? Grabbed the dice for a throw. Good gosh, CupHead, no, cried Mugman, for he understood the danger, but it was far too late. Snake eyes, laughed the devil while slamming the door. You lose, the brothers trembled and feared as he loomed over them. Now about those souls. The brothers pleaded for their very lives. There must be another way to repay you, Mugman stammered. Yes, please, mister, CupHead added. Perhaps there is, the devil snickered, pulling out a what the parchment? I have your list of my runaway debtors? Yeah. Collect their souls for me and I just might pardon you 2 mugs. Actually, one's a cup. Now get going, the devil roared, kicking the boys out most rudely. You have till midnight tomorrow to collect every one of these souls, otherwise I'll be the one collecting yours.
This again has been Storytime with Cayenne Gaucho Pava. It's a surprisingly intriguing story, considering it really has no need in the game. A lot of games seem to have just, oh, go rescue someone or just go kill this guy. But by becoming the devil's slave and collecting his debts for him, all because CupHead has a gambling problem, is a nice funny take on the way the game presents itself, fitting the 1930s charm in a lot of way. CupHead is a running gun style boss rush game of sorts. A co-op game or solo game, you have CupHead and Mugman blasting out bullets from their fingers, taking out foes. You have infinite lives and no mid-level weapon power-ups or cost for dying. You have 6 weapons of which you can have 2 in battle and 6 power-ups of which you use 1. This is where things kinda hit a snag for me. I tried to use all the powers and weapons through the game at least once, but honestly the balancing feels way off sometimes, especially with the charms. Smoke Bomb is a must-have. It is a blessing to every fight, keeping you from taking hits while you dash. Honestly, nothing else seems worth it after you buy the Smoke Bomb. The same with the boomerang and charge shots. Using anything else in the majority of the fights is really not needed. Now, certain guns you can use for certain scenarios, but since you can only have the 2 at a time, you kind of gotta pick between damage and accuracy a lot of the time. I would've just liked to see a little bit more balance between the guns. CupHead also has a parry mechanic, where if anything in the game is pink, you can parry it to get a second jump and add to your card stack. Card stacks are the little cards that increase as you deal damage to enemies, and obviously from parries. You can use a special attack at the cost of 1 card, or you can wait until you get a full deck of 5 cards and blast away a super attack dealing massive damage. CupHead has 3 types of stages in each island. You have running gun levels, which are your basic platforming levels if Satan had handcrafted them himself. The mausoleum levels, which are a good way to practice parrying in the game, which is really useful, because it feels like the hitboxes on the parry are sorta broken at times. I will fully admit that I suck at parrying. but many times I am 100% sure I hit the parry, and I'll just go right through it. For a game that is hard enough, this is just frustrating. The last and most abundant stages of the boss fights. You travel around Inkwell Isle to take out the debtors, and let me tell you, they are not going down easy. You want to talk about fighting tooth and nail to finish a game? CupHead is going to put you through the ringer and back. This game is difficult. That's probably an understatement. You have attack after attack, phase after phase, and absolutely no time to breathe. Each fight is about 2 minutes long, and for those 2 minutes, you need to be pretty much perfect. Which brings me to CupHead's biggest issue. It's not the difficulty, it's not the hitboxes, it's the glitches. Far too often the game expects you to be perfect, but that is incredibly difficult when the game itself is not perfect. Sometimes bosses don't load properly, phases refuse to end, segments will not let you advance, and when that happens, especially on a perfect run, it is infuriating. It's one thing to have the game ask you to be near perfect. It's actually not that big of an issue because the game is fair almost all the way through. But glitches wreck a perfect run is so heartbreaking. Thankfully, the game does a very good job of just throwing you right back in the boss fight after you die, even if you have to reboot the console and everything else. You never feel like you're wasting too much time in loading screens. You get right back on the horse and you just keep firing those finger blasters away until that boss goes to hell. Literally, apparently. I'm just gonna say it. This is the best looking game of 2017. I know Breath of the Wild, Destiny 2, for whatever reason people think that's the best looking game, but CupHead is without a doubt 100% the best looking game of 2017. This is straight out of the 1930s, and all of it has the love and care of a firstborn child. The scratchiness of the audio clips, the fade on the characters, the hand-drawn animations, all of it is top of the class in 2017. This is a prime example of how realistic graphics are not needed. Imagine CupHead looking realistic. Imagine just a cup with pants moving around on the screen. I don't think that would look very good. I doubt you guys do too, but who knows, maybe. CupHead looks like everything had time, thought, and effort put into it. Every single boss in this game is more unique than the last. Taking psycho plants to pirates to a weapon to surpass the Metal Gear, it is as unique a looking game as I have ever seen. CupHead is short. CupHead is actually very short. You have 3 worlds plus the end world, which is only 2 fights. Even with the hundreds of deaths that you are gonna rack up, you are still kicking out maybe 5 hours. After you beat the game once, you do unlock expert mode. So you thought the first round was tough? Congrats, expert mode will you up. You can also collect 5 coins on each of the running gun levels, and outside of that, if you are truly crazy, you can go for all S ranks. That will probably take 500 hours if I had to guess. That's for the truly insane though, of which I am not. Maybe. Not doing it. Not doing it. Will not happen. Expert mode, that's gonna happen though. God damn. Even among the glitches, CupHead is all I could hope it was. Difficult but fair, aesthetically beautiful, and creative through the roof. I really hope that we get a second CupHead, but that would be at best 2020 based on the animations and the amount of time this game took. If you're looking for more CupHead, then check out the Tale of 3 Idiots part of this channel, where me, Cayenne, and our other idiot buddy Lyle play CupHead on expert mode. Until then, later internet.